In this lesson, we're going to talk about the augmented scale and show how it is formed and why it's called augmented. The augmented scale is a 7-note scale. Let's talk about how we construct the scale with intervals. The interval between the first and the second note of the augmented scale is a minor third. The interval between the second and the third note is a half step. The interval between the third and the fourth note is a minor third. The interval between the fourth and the fifth note is a half step. The interval between the fifth and the sixth note is, you guessed it, a minor third. And the interval between the sixth and the seventh note is indeed a half step. Let's write a C augmented scale using our intervals. The first note of the C augmented scale is C. The second note is a minor third higher than C, which is E flat. We're using different colors here. You'll understand why in a moment. The third note is a half step higher than E flat, which is, we'll call it for our purposes, E natural. The fourth note is a minor third higher than E natural, which is G natural. The fifth note is a half step higher than G natural, which is, we'll call it A flat. The sixth note is a minor third higher than A flat, which is B natural. And the seventh note is a half step higher than B, and that is C. Now, why is this called an augmented scale? Well, this is why we used our different colors. Let's just write in the blue notes. The blue notes are C, E natural, and A flat. A flat's the same as G sharp, it doesn't matter, but those three notes form an augmented chord. Let's write in our red notes. E flat, G, and B. Those three notes form another augmented chord. The augmented scale is formed by taking two augmented triads or two augmented chords, where the second one is a minor third up from the first one. So there's our second one. And then we play them in order going from lowest to highest, and that is our augmented scale. Let's try another example. This time, we're going to write a B flat augmented scale. The first note of a B flat augmented scale is B flat. The second note is a minor third higher than B flat, which is D flat. The third note is a half step higher than D flat, which is D natural. The fourth note is a minor third higher than D, which is F. The fifth note is a half step higher than F, which is G flat. Could have been F sharp, either way. The sixth note is a minor third higher than G flat, which is A. And the seventh note is a half step higher than A, which is B flat. Once again, if we just write a chord based on our blue notes, we have B flat, D, and G flat. That could also be an F sharp. That is an augmented triad. The red notes are D flat, F, and A, and that is an augmented triad. So we have our augmented scale. We'll do one more example, and we'll continue to use our blue and red alternating notes. This time, let's do a D augmented scale. Erase our checks. The first note of a D augmented scale is D. Well, we know that's going to be blue. The second note is a minor third higher than D, so we have an F. The third note is a half step higher than F, which is G flat. We could have called it F sharp just as easily. The fourth note is a minor third higher than G flat, which is A. The fifth note is a half step higher than A, which is B flat. The sixth note is a minor third higher than B flat, which is D flat. Or, in this case, C sharp. And the last note is a half step higher than C sharp, which is D. There is our D augmented scale. The blue notes, every other note is D, G flat, and B flat. That is an augmented chord. And the red notes are F, A, and C sharp. That is also an augmented chord. This is the augmented scale.